Hey, you. I am from Mars. I will teach you how to avoid 10 common mistakes you make in English. If you don't pay attention to these, I will take you to my planet. Watch carefully.
Hello everyone, welcome back to ESL Drill. In this video, let's learn 10 common grammar mistakes that English learners make. Let's have a look at the first one. Here is a dialogue between a teacher and her colleague. The teacher says, "I'll talk to you later. I have to take a class on grammar now. My students are waiting." The colleague says, "Okay, bye." If you look at these lines here, the teacher said, "I have to take a class on grammar now." A teacher gives a class and students take a class. But here the teacher said, "I have to take a class." If a teacher says that he or she is going to take a class, they mean that they are attending someone else's class in order to learn something. So when a person says, "take a class on grammar," it means that person is trying to learn something by attending some class. Teachers have to say, "I have to give a class now. So I will give a class tomorrow." So that is the correct way of saying this. Students take class, teachers give class. Okay? Hope it helps. Let's move to the next one. Another dialogue between Rajan and Joseph. Rajan says, "I want to try it now." Joseph, "You can't do it now. Wait for your turn." What's wrong here? Let's see. Wait for your turn is wrong. When we use wait with the word turn, we should not use the preposition for. The problem is with the collocation, word combinations. This is not a right word combination. You can use for with the other pronouns like this. So wait for him, or you can also use with nouns. Wait for John, wait for Smith. But you can't say wait for your turn. Wait your turn is the standard expression. Okay, let's move to the third one. Another dialogue. Father says, "Did you fail in any subject?" Son, "Yes, Dad, I have failed in science." What's wrong with this? This sounds very common, very correct too. But let's see what's wrong. We should actually say, "Did you fail any subject?" And the son here should say, "Yes, I have failed science." So what have you noticed here? I think you have noticed that the preposition in is missing here. This is correct. When we talk about exams, a particular name of the subject in the examination, we should not use in after them. Like, you have to say, "Did you fail any subject?" Or you can say, "I have never failed any subject." But there is an exception here. Now, when you talk about your duty or responsibility, you can use the word in here after fail or pass, something like this. She failed in her duty. This is okay because this is not about exams. This is about duty. Let's move to the next one. Number 4. Look at this sentence here. The manager is angry with the typist who came lately by 30 minutes. The manager is angry with the typist who came lately by 30 minutes. What's wrong here? Here the correct way is, the manager is angry with the typist who came late by 30 minutes. The problem is with the word lately. The correct word is late. Actually, late means arriving after the expected time. But lately means recently. Because we have mentioned time here, 30 minutes, we cannot be using recently. Otherwise, recently is okay. The manager is angry with the typist who have come recently, who have come lately. Look at this here. Lately is usually used in perfect tenses. Moreover, this is in simple past tense. So we can't be using lately here. it has a different meaning. So the typist arrived late, and that was why the manager is angry. Okay, let's move to the next one. Number 5. I hear BBC News every morning. I hear BBC News every morning. What's wrong with this? We have to say, I listen to BBC News every morning. I listen. It's not listen, it's listen. I listen to BBC News every morning. Let's know the difference between these two. When we use hear, we mean receive sounds without necessarily trying to hear something. We don't make an effort to hear something. But when we use the word listen, we pay attention to sounds that are coming or that are happening, that are occurring around, that are going on. So we can also conclude saying this: listening is actually our choice, but hearing happens automatically. For example, we are doing something, we are reading something, maybe a book or something, and then suddenly you hear some sound. That's hearing. But you heard some sound and then you pay close attention to such sounds. Now you want to listen to those sounds. Okay, I think I can help you with a few more examples here. She heard footsteps behind her. Means here she did not deliberately try to listen to something. No. The whole class listened to the teacher attentively. Now here you can understand that the class of students tried to listen to what the teacher was actually saying. Next, she heard a sudden loud crash. She did not expect it. That's why we have used the word sudden. She heard a sudden loud crash. I listened carefully to his story. Here it shows that I paid real attention, very good attention to listen to his story. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now let's move to the next question, that is number 6. Look at this sentence. Despite of poverty, he helped many people. Despite of poverty, he helped many people. What's wrong here? The problem is with the preposition of here. Actually, despite is a preposition and we cannot use of after that despite. So despite his poverty, he helped many people. That's correct. But you can use in spite. Let's look at that later in a moment. Now, despite is not followed by of, so we can't use of after that. Now, let's look at this here. In spite of is a compound prepositional phrase, so it has of at the end. You cannot use in spite his poverty. Despite poverty is okay, but in spite of his poverty or in spite of poverty, he helped many people. I think you have got the point. Let's move to number 7. Look at this conversation here. Mr. A says, "Are you free now?" B, "Not really." A, "Okay, let us go for a walk." What's wrong here? Here, let us means allow us to maybe do something. Now here when A says, "Let us go for a walk," it means he is asking Mr. B to allow him to go for a walk. But it's different here. Let's should be used there. It means Mr. A wants Mr. B to go for a walk with him. So let's is used to make suggestions about what you and someone else should do. So there is a clear difference between these two. Let us, let's. Look at these examples here. Mom, let us go on the tour. You did not allow me last time as well. At least now, let us go on the tour. It means here, allow us to go on the tour. But look at the next line there. Let's talk about the next mistake. Let's talk about the next mistake. Let's is a suggestion here. So we should talk about the next mistake. Okay, let's talk about the next mistake. Shall we? Okay, we'll go. Number 8. A government of the people, by the people, and for the people is called as democracy. A government of the people, by the people, and for the people is called as democracy. What's wrong here? I have already underlined that's the problem area. Actually, we should say a government of the people, by the people, and for the people is called democracy. Here, the word call does not take as after it. We should not use as after call, called, called. We usually say this is called as, that is called as, this behavior is called as, but that is wrong. Okay, look at these examples here. We should consider this as an offense. Look at this here, these are different. We have exceptions. We should consider this as an offense. Now, when we use the word consider and describe, we can use as after them. She described herself as an artist. So, there is this possibility. But after the word call, do not use as. Okay, let's move on to the next one. That's number 9. Here's the money you asked for. Don't lose it. Here's the money you asked for. Don't lose it. What's wrong here? Here is the money you asked for. Don't lose it. This is the correct one. Don't lose it. You might have noticed the spelling difference there. L-O-O-S-C. It has 2 O's, and then here the right one has single O. This L-O-S-C is a verb, and this L-O-O-S-C is an adjective. Loose. Adjective is loose, and this one is z, loose. So loose is an adjective. It's the antonym of the word tight. So I have taken the basic meaning and easy meaning there. Loose, tight, opposite words. Look at these examples. You should wear loose clothing in summer. You should wear loose clothing in summer. Next sentence. She has lost her keys. So this lost comes from the word lose. Lose, lost, lost. Okay? Now, let's look at the last one here in this video. 2 men are introduced to each other. This is the first time they have met. Mr. A says, "How do you do?" B says, "I'm good, thank you." What's wrong here? This sounds very natural, but what's wrong? How do you do is the formal greeting used by people when they meet someone for the first time. And the usual reply to this is, how do you do? It has no general meaning actually. Just to be formal, to be polite, they use this, how do you do? And the reply should be, how do you do? Okay, now try to say, I'm fine, thank you, or I'm good, thank you, when someone says, how do you do? So remember to say, how do you do, when you are introduced to somebody for the first time. Okay, that's the end of the mistakes that I wanted to discuss in this video.
Hey, if you don't subscribe, I'll take you to Mars.
Hey Martian, you should not be rude to our viewers. You have to treat them politely.
Okay, boss. I'm leaving, boss.